people, I think, were drawn to her as a role model because they felt like they could relate to her and that she had this like immeasurable amount of empathy. When I first got the part, I did a lot of research, and obviously like there's so much information and speculation about their relationship, and I found it all quite overwhelming, if I'm completely honest. It was actually really great when I got given the scripts and was actually in the room with Josh and we started rehearsing and, you know, talking with Peter about how he saw the relationship, because our series is so separate from the reality. No one really knows and will ever know what their relationship was like, and nor should we. And but Peter and the characters he's created and the story that we're telling, it was incredibly interesting because it basically is just it's marriage, and it's the complexities and the human faults and flaws and also the brilliant and joyous bits of a marriage and all that. And I think as an actor, it was such a joy to be able to explore that and to play that. You know what? Honestly, a lot of it was very hard. You know, the Diana that I'm playing in the series, Peter's Diana, is, you know, she goes through a lot, and you know, a lot of Josh and I's scenes were incredibly heavy, and even some of the more joyous ones when their marriage is working were complex because there are so many underlying things going on. I had always been very vocal with Peter and the script editors that anything to do with Diana's mental health and with bulimia in particular, if we touched on that, for it to be represented like wholly and fully, and represented really well, because I feel a responsibility to when portraying that on screen. And yeah, there were days when we would do scenes involving her bulimia or her mental health, and that was tricky. It can be draining. You go home at the end of the day and think, oh my God. You stick on Friends and you're like in our depiction of it, there's no unfair treatment that seems in any way malicious or purposeful. I think it's just that she comes from a different world. As you've seen in like The Crown series 1 to 3, the firm, I mean, even that word, that kind of label for this family, you know, it's a completely different way of living and connecting with people. And it's a completely different, Diana just wasn't used to it, I don't think. I remember filming the scenes where she first goes to the palace and is introduced to everyone. And it felt, for me, the way I felt it in my body was like moving from warm to cold. It was like moving from that safe place of comfort and security to such an unknown environment. And I guess when you're in a new environment, you want to feel comforted and supported. And I guess if we've learned anything from series 1 to 3, it's that like the royal family cannot offer that. People, I think, were drawn to her as a role model because they felt like they could relate to her and that she had this like immeasurable amount of empathy. And she was, any video footage that I watched or any people that I spoke to or anything that I read, it kind of all pointed to the same thing, that she had so much time for other people. And I think she was incredibly emotionally intelligent. And I remember one person saying that when she talked to you, it was like you were the only person in the room. And also because she did so much incredible humanitarian work. I remember I met her private secretary, Patrick Jepson. He said that she once said to him that she would do work with like animal charities once like she'd finished with human charities when there were no more humans to help. And I think it was quite an interesting thing. I think she just loved and cared about people so much. I think at the end of the day, it's entirely up to an individual, especially when you're in the public eye, as to what you feel comfortable talking about and how you use your voice. I think it has to be organic and it has to be natural, otherwise it's not authentic. And if you're promoting or advocating or doing any kind of activism, like, it has to be authentic. And I think that was the wonderful thing with Diana, and I think is the same with Meghan, that is, you know, it comes from a place of like truly caring about people and about these causes. And that's when real good and real change can come from it, I think.